We'll continue our conversation on the Seattle Mariners. Lyle Goldstein from the Marine Layer podcast making his debut on the Ultimate Seattle Sports Show. Lyle, thanks for joining us. And the Mariners, here we go. After the day off on Thursday, they begin a 3-game series with the Royals tonight. Then they'll face off against the A's. All these games on the road. Lyle, you look back at that homestand. There was a lot of drama. There was a lot of chaos. Ariel on the show, she loves chaos. But let's begin with some emotions. Let's begin with J.P. Crawford, his post-game comments on Wednesday saying that he wants to stay in Seattle. He wants to do whatever it takes to be on this team. I guess just your thoughts, Lyle, on what you've heard, what you've seen from J.P., and then I'll follow it up. Do you think he should be the third baseman and Colt at shortstop?
Man, it's such a loaded topic. I mean, first and foremost, this should be all the testament in the world to J.P. Crawford, because a lot of people wouldn't do what he's now willing to do and get off the position he's played his entire career and move over further to the right side for a kid who's 20 years old. Like, that takes a lot of selflessness out of a veteran, something a lot of people wouldn't do. I mean, I'll give credit to Salk because he brought it up on Brock and Salk this morning. Derek Jeter, who was tabbed the forever captain of the Yankees, did exactly the opposite of that when they brought A-Rod into town, who was objectively the better defensive shortstop, but they forced A-Rod to go play third base because Jeter wouldn't move. To see J.P. Crawford take the leadership to do something like this, it is really a testament to him and his care for the team and his drive to win here in Seattle, because Colt Emerson is a really good defensive shortstop and is supposed to be a really good defensive shortstop. And JP's defense has objectively, by the metrics and by the numbers, deteriorated over the last few years. So for him to be able to say, okay, what can I best do to help the team win? Yeah, it's all the credit in the world to him.
Sticking with Colt Emerson, I mean, Sunday, such an emotional day that he gets that call up from Tacoma, has to zoom up here to play, and the next day gets that home run in front of his parents. Just walk us through the emotions of this week and your excitement for Colt Emerson.
Could not be higher. I mean, it's funny. The last prospect the Mariners had to homer as their first big league hit was Jared Kelenic about 5 years ago in 21. And then you see Colt Emerson's first hit go for a home run over the head of right fielder Jared Kelenic for the Chicago White Sox. I mean, if you were to take somebody back in time, I don't think anybody would have drawn that going the way that it did, especially 5 years ago, when Kelenic was supposed to be the part of this, you know, the jump start of this core half a decade ago. But just to stick on Colt Emerson, I mean, you're talking about a dude who has such a good approach, good athlete, plays really good shortstop defense, has a little bit of pop, goes gap to gap. I mean, he was rated a top 5 prospect in baseball for a reason, and he is debuting at 20 years old for a reason. Obviously, some circumstances were what kind of sprung it into action, because Brendan Donovan's going to miss some time. But to see Colt Emerson get the chance and now to see his big league clock start, it's pretty exciting, because you are looking at what is almost definitely the shortstop of the next decade for the Mariners.
I agree, and I'm getting excited looking at your room. What type of trophies we got in the back? Is that a soccer championship in the back there, Lyle?
Ooh. You know what? It's been so long since I've gone back and actually read through what all of them are. I think they're just all like from my time in youth sports growing up. I wish I could say it was something like, I don't know. Like, I didn't get a self trophy for our state championship back in 2016 at Lake Washington. If I had, that would be front and center at the back of my room. But yeah, I think they're all like youth sports trophies.
Okay, you deserve a trophy for hanging out with Brock and Salk every day. I think you should have a trophy for that.
Well, tell them to make me one. I mean, I'm like the human punching bag of that show. It's insane. I mean, you listen, Chris. You know.
I do, and you are a voice of reason. You bring out a lot of great intel, and I think something you have not been afraid to talk about, and I actually heard Mike Salk talk a little bit about this, is concern over some of the in-game management with this Mariners team. Obviously, this Mariners team is not where they want to be right now. They're coming off a great 5-4 win, but you look at the two out of the 3 games before that, one hit here, one hit there. Your thoughts on some of the things you've seen, and I guess a lot of people are going to point to that piggyback word and another just kind of disaster so far with this team.
Yeah, these things seem to pop up a lot with them, don't they? I mean, it's not just this season. It was highlighted plenty in the playoffs last year and during the regular season last year. But the way the whole piggyback thing went down the other night, I know the Mariners have already said they plan to run that back again. I just don't personally see how in good faith and in logic that makes any sense in the world. Because Bryce Miller, who's about as even-keeled and laid-back a guy as you're going to find, was visibly pretty upset both when he got taken out of that game on Tuesday and in his post-game press conference, and rightfully so. I mean, he'd thrown less than 75 pitches, hadn't given up a run, wasn't allowing base runners, and then to see them have a tailor-made situation in a one-run game to go to their closer in the ninth inning to shut it down. I know Munoz has had his struggles early in the year, but you're still talking about a guy who over the last 3-4 seasons has been one of the upper echelon relievers in Major League Baseball. And they punt the chance to go to him to put Luis Castillo back out there in the ninth in a situation he has never, ever been in. I don't see how it made any sense in the world then. I'm still flabbergasted by it now, and I'm definitely surprised to hear that they're going to do this again because it didn't seem like it exactly made everybody a bunch of happy campers in that clubhouse.
Not at all. Not at all.
No, and Lyle, and sticking with these flummoxing decisions, I guess we'll say, talk about Rob Refsnyder and where you think that he should be used, if he should be used, and the decision to go to him yesterday instead of Luke Raley.
I mean, it's a tough thing with Rob Refsnyder, right? Because he was brought in here to do one very specific thing. And it's the thing he's done about as well as anybody in baseball over the last 3-4 years, which is crush left-handed pitching. And I know it's been a really, really tough first 2 months for him. And if it continues, there's probably going to have to be a tough decision made on him, despite him making a little over $6 million for the year. I don't hate the way they continue to use him because they're trying to use him to his strengths and they're trying to use him against the left-handed pitchers. But, you know, it is going to get to a point here where they have to make some decision on it if this does not turn around. So I don't have an issue with the way they've used Refsnyder because you are talking about a guy that's essentially been Aaron Judge against left-handed pitching for the last 3-4 years before he got to Seattle, to be very clear. But the Luke Raley thing, I know people are looking at him and he's been the leader in RBIs and he's been your best offensive player by OPS. And you say, well, why doesn't he just play every day? Because he's never really proven in his career that he can hit left-handed pitching. And I think if he was playing against lefties every day, his numbers would not be what they're currently sitting at. They're sitting at what they're currently sitting at because they're using him to his best, to the best use of his game, which is to go crush right-handed pitching. And Refsnyder was supposed to balance that out here with the lefties. Unfortunately, that just has not gone the way that I think nobody planned for, Rob Refsnyder included, because he was really supposed to be a big part of this offense against lefties.
Yeah, and while he struggles, I point to the positive, and I point to Randy Arozarena, and he is right now the MVP of this offense. I guess what have you seen? What has TJ seen? What are some of your viewers talking about the year that Randy Arozarena is having right now?
It's funny. It's been such a whirlwind for him, right? Because it all started in probably not the best light a couple months ago back at the WBC. And then he starts the year making a few defensive miscues. And he's had some chances where he's been picked off on the base pads. But when you look at what Randy Arozarena has done the first 2 months of the year, just the offensive profile, I mean, he's been their best player at the plate. I mean, he's hitting over 300, something that most guys in baseball are not doing anymore. The 300 hitter's pretty much gone away with how good pitching's got. I mean, he's hitting for power. He's hitting for doubles. He's been really hot. He's been totally locked in. So, look, Randy's not the perfect player, and it's hard to find that across the game, and he has his deficiencies. But when you talk about the offense that he's spark plugged for this team, especially in the absence of Cal Raleigh, it has been totally invaluable, especially over the last couple weeks when he's really been at his hottest.
You see him as the DH when everybody comes back. Decisions are going to have to be made. We've talked about it on this show about possibly putting Donovan into the outfield, and then you're going to have decisions to be made when Robles comes back. How do you get Dominic Canzone into the lineup, Luke Raley in the lineup? But for Randy, I think maybe the best spot, I don't know if you agree with me on this, Lyle, would be DH.
That feels right. I mean, we've seen some of the miscues he's made out there in left field, not just this year, but since he's been a Mariner and really since he's been in baseball. Like, his defensive game has never been his strength. And then, yeah, to your point, Chris, if they're going to really move J.P. Crawford to third base and this becomes a thing, if he's at third base and Emerson's at short and Cole Young's at second, and then you have to find a spot for Donovan, the place he's played the most in his career, aside from second base, Donovan, is left field. He actually hasn't played a ton of third, which may speak to why it's been a little up and down there for him defensively this year. His second most natural position is left field. So I think when you get everybody back, Yeah, I mean, as long as Randy's open to it and as long as he's okay with it, I think him DHing a majority of the time makes all the sense in the world because he is in this lineup and he's on this team to hit. He's here for his bat. And DH, obviously, it utilizes your bat.
Speaking of left field, I'm going to throw you a ball out of left field from here. The big talk this week has been with the tarps off movement. Your thoughts? Are you into it? Are we going to see you out there? Bring us up to date.
Keep the shirt on, Lyle.
I think if you got Brock out there, he wouldn't hesitate to take his shirt off. I mean, that seems like right up the land of Brock Hewitt and right up the alley of Brock. Would I take my shirt off? No. And I think I can speak for TJ to say he wouldn't either. But you know what, man? Baseball's a really funny game, and it's a long season, and obviously people are going to entertain themselves in a variety of different ways. This is something we've really never seen before, but one of my core principles about baseball is I just never tell people how to be a fan. I think everybody's different and everybody fans in their own way. So if people want to go out to right field and take their shirts off with a big group of people and, you know, cause some havoc out there, it's fine with me. Like, I think it's been really funny and pretty out of the box in a unique way. So yeah, like if people want to keep doing it, you might not see me out there, but I think it's been really fun.
I actually think that's a good lesson in life. Just, let others do whatever they want to do. You take care of yourself.
Live and let live.
Yeah. Lyle, you mentioned TJ. I do have to ask, you went to Lake Washington. You guys have been working hard on this for the past couple of years, the Marine Layer podcast. It is really taking off. Just kind of how big of a dream was this? And to see where it's gone, just got to be pretty special for you being a Pacific Northwest kid.
It has been very, very cool. And I don't take any of it for granted. I mean, was it our dream growing up to just talk about the Mariners? 100%. This sort of thing didn't exist when we were growing up, and it probably didn't even exist in this setting when we were graduating high school. But I would say in the last 5 years or so, there's a lot of media that started to change in a lot of ways. I mean, short form content's really started to be leaned into across the board and across media. And we wanted to start a Mariners podcast for a long time. We finally thought we had the time and the means to do so. We said if we were going to do it, we wanted to really try to lean into some of the short form stuff with it and put some effort into it and bring our own unique perspective to it all. And yeah, to see people actually latch onto it through the first 3 years or so of it has been an absolute blast. And I hope it keeps going, and we can't thank everybody enough for who tunes in every single day, because it is living out a dream. And I don't forget that whenever we turn on these mics.
Yeah, and it's just going to get bigger and bigger as it goes on and as the Mariners season rolls on, because we know one thing for sure, Lyle. This year, it has been a season of roller coaster rides, drama, chaos, and Ariel, my friend, says...
Love chaos.
People love it, and they love listening to it. So, Lyle, thank you for your time. Send our best to TJ. We'll get you both in here in studio one time. But good luck as the Marine Layer podcast just continues to roll on. Thank you, Lyle.